Hello, everyone. I am Brad Ellis. I am joined by Kyle Bossman.
Hello.
Ben Moore.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Hello.
And Michael Damiani.
Hello.
And we are about to discuss Kingdom Hearts 3. This is the spoiler mode. We're spoiling everything. If you have not finished this game or you don't want to know spoilers, get the hell out of here. We're going to ruin the whole game for you if you've not seen it. But let's dive right in. Spoiler mode. I believe there's a spoiler mode graphic we do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, every time.
Throw some graphics up there.
And throw on Damiani.
Activate.
Damiani,
spoiler
you have a
mode.
keyblade
Use
right
the keyblade. Damiani. Activate the keyblade.
Activate spoiler mode. Now.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
Good start. This is a
Great
spoiler
start.
mode.
Best start.
So, just want to start real easy. I want to go hear all your thoughts, but first, just general question. Did the game live up to your all hype? It's been a long time coming. Kingdom Hearts 2 is 2006, I believe. It came out. Been waiting a long time. I know there's been games in between, but this is the next numbered game since the PS2 era. Did the game live up for you guys?
I think any game that is tying together as many threads as Kingdom Hearts 3 is, you're going to have like some things where you're like, oh man, I wish maybe I got a little bit more of this, or I was a little bit disappointed in that. So I had, like, not everything was on an equal level for me, but I would say for the most part, yeah, I left very happy and satisfied and emotionally invested.
Because you've been going through a lot of the games recently, Ben, for the first time.
Right, yeah, so I just... this last couple of days, I finished up everything in Birth by Sleep. Now I'm going through Chain of Memories, and so getting fully caught up. And I played through some stuff before going into Kingdom Hearts 3 and watched a bunch of videos and stuff just to get as prepared as I could.
Nice.
Yeah, I think like Ben was saying, I wanted a couple things, but for 98% of it, it more than lived up. It gave me pretty much everything I wanted with the, like, we'll get into it, but just so many, it was so self-aware. There were so many callbacks, so many nods, so many reunions, just everything you could dream of went down, and there were so many payoffs.
You talk about being self-aware. The Kingdom Hearts 2.9. That was a moment, man.
Yep, that was totally a moment.
So good.
A little nod.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about the worlds briefly. I want to hear all individually your guys' favorite world.
Toy
and
Story.
Why. Toy Story. Why?
Easily Toy Story.
Toy box.
The scale, dude. Just first appearing. I mean, we knew Toy Story from way early on, right? I had a lot of expectations. I did not expect that I'd be like wander around Andy's room and then hopping out the window, and then his entire household is there, and a whole block of like his neighborhood.
The neighborhood,
is there.
yeah. Scale.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, like this is probably it. And then I think I saw in a trailer the final boss fight in that like made up toy worlds.
Yeah.
In the Nether Realm, but like I did not know we'd be in this whole toy store, a 3-story toy store that has so many details, so many rooms. None of the toys, none of the assets of those boxes were phoned in. They were all like feasible toys.
I would say they went above and beyond with one particular video game they advertised.
Dude, that's how it starts.
We will get
Kyle,
into that.
the callback to the Toy Story short that time forgot with like the dinosaur with the staff. He's in one of the Toy Story short films.
That's
I
a
did not
deep
know
cut.
that,
Dude, he was like, he's like standing in the toy store like a giant like mannequin of him, and there's like other toys of him around.
Sick.
I was like, dude.
And stupid Final Fantasy 14 models too.
I didn't catch those.
Oh yeah, they had like
Dissidia.
some.
That's
Dissidia.
Dissidia.
Oh, Dissidia, yeah,
They had
yeah.
Dissidia models in there. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle, it's interesting to talk about that because from a lot of Kingdom Hearts, we were used to, because there were PS2 and PSP games mostly, just like tiny little areas. Most of the time you're going, like, Birth by
Yeah.
Sleep's really small areas. I know you can test that, Ben.
Yeah.
When you get into 3, it's just like, boom, scope. You're jumping off a mountain now and you're just free falling.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes.
I would agree with Kyle. I think the Toy Story world was the most realized, and just how many different sections there were, and the fact that you could get into different toys to pilot them, and how much that played into combat. But I think all of the worlds, I liked all the worlds to some degree.
You like Monsters Inc?
I did
I
like
love
Monsters,
Monsters
Inc.
Inc.,
And here's
Kyle.
why I liked Monsters
Okay,
Inc.
I need some why here.
Yeah. Here's a why. So a lot of the world. So if you think about Tangled or Frozen or Toy Story, they're definitely the kind of a sandbox design where it's like, hey, you have this big area. You can go and find all these chests and go off and get secrets and all this stuff. Monsters Inc. to me was just kind of like go. I felt kind of this pace to it that I didn't get in the other worlds, where like I never stopped moving forward, and there was kind of the good sense of tension. Like you were going down those things, and like you had to dodge those lasers or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And then you had like the fire happening outside, and then you were on the door, and so there was just this momentum, this kind of barreling forward, and it was a lot more linear, it was a lot more restricted, but I think the pace of it made up for it, and I'm kind of glad that it exists because there was a lot of similar design in the other worlds where it's like, okay, let's stop, let's go, let's find these things, let's mess around for a little while, and so I thought it was a good differentiator compared to the rest
I
of
know
the
we're
world.
still doing my faves, but here's my issue. I think that some of the worlds that we can definitely praise were like, look at this Disney movie. What can I do with the world? Well, how can I make this a video game world? And they totally did it. They blew it up. Pirates, easy, right? Monsters Inc. It's about this magical scenario where you can open a door that could take you to anywhere in the world in a child's room. And we didn't do that.
Kyle, you're not gonna fight Heartless or Unversed or whatever in a kid's room when they're sleeping.
We just hung out in one factory the whole time.
It doesn't matter, baby. This is the first entry. You could come back later.
All right,
And
we
Kyle,
better
you
come
cannot
Monsters
deny to
University, I'm
me.
in for
You
it.
cannot deny this.
Huh.
Teaming up with Mike and Sully is like the dopest thing ever.
Yeah, at
that is
least
like the sickest.
They also had the best like team attack out
Yeah,
of any
To
of them.
Vanitas, dude, that was a 10.
when Sully like stepped in, baby,
Dude,
like
yeah.
Disney characters making moves, Kyle.
All right. He's CEO. I like that. That one's actually a continuation of the story. I like those more than recreating the stories. That was
too.
part of cool part of it.
Me too.
Hubert,
Favorite world.
favorite role.
Favorite world, sorry. It's tough. You really sold me on Toy Story. You know, Toy Story was because it's like my favorite movie out of all the worlds by far. But I really liked Pirates. Pirates was so fun because it was the most. It was the most like open world dopamine. Find all the crabs.
It just turned into Black Flag.
Yeah, totally turned into Black Flag.
I was terrified that finding the crabs was going to be miserable.
Yeah.
But the way that they did it was actually really great because there was a lot more of that world than you realize.
Yeah.
And so you're just going and finding crabs, and you get into these different buildings, you go on top of things, and it's just a good way to kind of introduce you to the world, and it
Yeah.
just sort of naturally leads you along.
And the underwater sections were massive.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
there's
can
a
I,
lot to find.
Can, I was like, can I just keep swimming and swimming and swimming?
Yes.
And just kept swimming.
The only thing about the Pirates World, man, I think there's too much of the ship combat, and the ship
Yeah.
combat isn't good
It's frequent.
enough
Yeah.
to
It's frequent.
support the level of stuff that
Sure.
you're doing.
You mean
For
they
sure.
just spawn too much?
They spawn too much, and I didn't really. I felt like every fight was the same, where it was like, okay, they're gonna shoot at me, then I'm gonna block, then I'm gonna hit their weak spot, then I'm gonna hit the triangle button, and like the way that they made it harder was just more ships, but it doesn't really ever change the strategy that you're doing.
The race
It
was
just
pretty sick.
What's up?
The race.
The
was
race
pretty
was-
The
sick.
race was pretty sick.
I like that.
And
Yeah.
flying up in the air.
The tidal wave.
Yeah,
The tidal wave.
yeah, that was a good satisfying
Ben,
moment,
I
for sure.
agree. The ship combat was a little
Yeah.
shallow, but like, but I did like that you could board the ship. Also, I thought that was a nice touch, being able to shoot your anchor in there and go up there and fight them.
Should have had Ubisoft
Yeah.
step in for
Yeah.
I also think like leveling up the ship was way less interesting and completely pointless. Like I felt no drive to do that.
They should have had an animation of it like growing
Sure.
a little bit
Yeah.
or something.
For sure.
Did you, any of you get your ship to max level?
I got it to
Not.
like 8 or 9.
So when you get to max level, you get the Black Pearl. You can
Oh,
sail
okay.
on that if you want. It's a little something.
That's
but,
nice. How long does it take to get to max level?
I don't know. I just did it. So I got the platinum for the game. So I went through and got all the treasures and all the Mickey
Nice.
things. So I just kind of did that as I was going along. So I'm not sure how.
So you weren't
I
grinding
was
at
there.
any point.
No.
I grinded it out. I was like, dude, I'm getting all these crabs. I'm maxing it out before I go to the race or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So for a couple hours, I got to like 8 or 9, but then
Let's go.
yeah, but then I got to all the X's were on the map, and I was like, dude, I don't know where the
Were you
last
feeling the grind?
crabs
though?
are.
Were you feeling
no,
the grind?
No, because by the
crab grind.
time I had gone to every island on the map, I was 8 or 9, and then I just stopped because I was like, all right, I don't want to backtrack. But it was enough to like go to all the places on the map. I was like, all right.
The other thing about the Pirates world that I found a little annoying, I've only seen the first 2 Pirates movies, and like the way they told that story felt very discombobulated. I felt like there was a bunch of information that I should have had that I didn't have, and so understanding what was happening with Jack Sparrow was like needlessly confusing at points, whereas I felt the other ones, even if you hadn't seen the movie,
Because this was the second movie.
Well, because
Third movie.
Kingdom Hearts 2 did Pirates 1, then
Yeah.
they skipped 2 and just went to 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So yeah, if you haven't seen 3 or 2, you're just like, what?
Yeah, I just felt like they were giving you bits of the story,
But
rather
they
than
had to
like a
do
nice
it
little
because of the
summary.
box, Ben. Because it had the box
Yes,
everyone was
yes,
chasing.
yes.
and the box office.
That's right.
Pirates
the box
3,
office,
dude.
yeah.
Payday.
And the weird, like, there was a really interesting thing in that world where Calypso's like, you can save me, Sora. So like adding some interest of that character from this world
Yeah.
into Sora never paid off.
No.
Never paid off.
Well, I don't know. I really liked it because it was like the idea that they were searching for like the heart, like Davy Jones's heart, and that the organization could have used that as a weapon.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool and clever and a nice way
Yeah.
to tie it into Pirates lore.
Yeah. What about you, Damiani?
Pirates is my favorite level as well.
Nice.
First of all, I really liked how Sora's outfit.
Yes.
Like Sora's
Pirate
outfit
Sora
looks
is
so
best
awesome.
It looked amazing.
Pirate
yeah.
Donald, dude.
Like all of them.
3 of them.
Seeing
Yes.
them when you were sailing the Leviathan and getting to see like Sora behind the wheel there, it looked so cool. I was just like so in the moment with that. I just loved it, and I felt like that world to me might be a little bit biased, but I loved seeing Port Royale for the most part recreated
From 2?
to just go and explore and go around. You couldn't go up to the governor's mansion, but you could go anywhere from like the port itself all the way to the fortress with like the cells and stuff like
Yeah.
from the first movie. It's like you can go to any of those spots in there. I was like, this is really cool. And then like as you said, like Huber, the ocean. I was like, wait, can I go in the water? Just go. I was like, wait, what? I can just swim around in here?
crazy.
It was like unbelievable. I really liked that. And if there was one like thing that I was like bummed out about is that there wasn't any other areas similar to that in the zone. Like when you get the go out on the Leviathan, explore the other islands, like oh my gosh, this is gonna be where's another like port and stuff. Like I'm gonna go to other like ports and like
Wind Waker syndrome.
I was like this is like look at this, look how many islands there are. This
Yeah.
is like a more dense Wind Waker. This is what I've been waiting for. And you go to the first island, it's kind of like a little small one. Like okay, I walked around the beach a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of them get a little bit more elaborate, like you can run up to like the cliffs and stuff, and you can like do have some caves, but none of them really were. They always had like a kind of a promise of something awesome happening, but it was kind of more of the same thing. That was the only slight disappointment with it, but I still loved going to every one of those islands and being like, "What secret is here? Like I gotta like run around and find everything here, man."
There's that big island that's like rock all the way around. That's like a fairy fountain in Wind Waker. Was there anything inside of that?
The Sandbar Island?
Some of them on the map were trolls that you like couldn't land on.
Some
I
of them
feel
you
like.
couldn't land on.
Yeah.
There's one island that is right immediately west and like a little bit north that is a big one. You have to go around to like a small beach side, and then you go deeper into the island, and then like you can go up. You can go into a cave that ends, but then you can go up a cliff, and then you can use the auto like hop one, the glowing like kind of like pillars and stuff to run to the other side to the other island. And you just go around there, and it's got like more materials for little chef and other like
really?
treasures and
There's
stuff.
like one with
Yeah.
a sick cove, like when you hop through stuff and you go down in there, and there's like a bunch of chests down there you can grab.
Yeah, the islands are great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The gold.
I was gonna say, I
finding
really
the treasure
appreciate
and
the
just like
gold.
spamming the triangle button.
for
Yeah.
200 at a time, it was meaningless at the point. Yeah.
So fun. Though.
Yeah.
And the underwater parts, like the underwater cavern segment, like
The combat underwater.
they made underwater combat like not a complete horror, essentially, like
Yeah.
something that you dreaded to play. And I just liked how, along with this world, along with other worlds, the like branching paths. Like you could go this way, and there'd probably be a treasure. It wasn't strictly linear, and it kind of did reward you with like a treasure here, or it's like the gold in this world, or something world specific. And we talked a lot about pirates, but I just want to give a shout out to Olympus, because like that stage has always just been like a Coliseum or like the
It's always
underworld.
been the worst, yeah.
It set the tone
Oh,
for
it set the tone so well.
how the scale of these worlds. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's just gonna be this area. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, a little open environment right here. Then it's like, wait, do I go this way
Do I
or
go
do
this
I
or
go
that way?
this way? I'm like, a Kingdom Hearts game is making me ask
Yeah.
which way I should go.
Just thematically, climbing up the mountain and then going into the realm of the gods and seeing just how like ridiculously crazy the realm of the gods looks. It was like we're Kingdom Hearts 3 now.
Yeah, and there's like that sick
Yeah.
forge you can get down there, find down there. You get a
Yeah.
weapon.
A
and
little
everything
shield
like
for
that.
good.
Oh,
That
yeah.
the puzzle,
Yeah,
I
great.
love that. And there were NPCs.
I was
Yes.
when
So
I
I was
was
Jones. I was like, Jones is
NPCs.
pumped.
when I was playing the game, Kyle. I always remember you complaining about no one, like
Yes.
NPCs, and I was in Twilight Town and Thieves or whatever. And I was like, oh, Kyle's gonna be pleased.
Yeah, because in Twilight Town they have conversations,
Yeah.
references to older stuff.
some
and
kids
just,
talking about buffalo wings or something.
Yeah, people
movie
just living lives.
on the
Just talking about
projector?
when
Yeah.
someone said like when talking
So
about
good.
spoilers, I was like,
Yeah.
referential Joker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to. You guys were mentioning how much you appreciated the openness of it, and I think to go along with that, I really loved when they would chime in and be like, "Hey, a lucky emblem is here," because it would be very easy to kind of get wrapped up in like, "I want to go this way" or "I want to go to my objective" or whatever it is. And it was just a nice reminder of like, "Oh no, let me look for these things," and it just kind of naturally incentivized me to maybe poke around more than I would have otherwise. And just how they handled the lucky emblems in general, I liked how it wasn't always like, oh, okay, it's this thing embedded in this object. Like they took all different shapes and sizes, and really kind of made you like take a very careful look at the environment.
like Tangled's tower,
Yep.
looking
Go up
down on the
tower,
rocks and
see the
stuff.
Mickey
I like
symbol.
perspective stuff like that.
Disco balls was cool.
Yeah, the disco ball in Toy
Yeah.
Story.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude.
They were a little incessant, I think, about asking for ingredients, but or
Ingredients
telling you that
here.
ingredients were around, rather. but-
Some ingredients around here.
And Donald's really slow. This looks like a good spot to look for ingredients.
So I put subtitles off, and then Donald spoke, and I put him right back on.
I mean, that's understandable.
There's like 3 or 4 lines where I'm just
But
Donald. I have no idea what
give
you
him a
said.
break, man. He's a duck talking. It's like, just give him some time. So we all loved like going through the Disney World, seeing all that stuff. But one thing was missing that's usually in the at least the mainline ones, which I brought up in the review, is no Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah.
There's nods and little things like that. Like there's the constellations. There's like a lot of Final Fantasy monsters. There's like Ultros out there, stuff like that. We got the Dissidia toys. Yes,
Where's
Kyle.
Ultros?
It's one of the constellations.
Yeah.
I think it's in the.
okay. It's not like an
I don't know.
optional
then-
boss fighter.
No.
Gotcha.
And then when you take a picture of the constellation, you get a little Ultra ship as well, which is cool.
Yeah, there's just like cool little nods like that, but no, like Leon and the gang's not here. No Sid, no Cloud. Especially with 2, we had the Cloud and Sephiroth showdown.
Thanks, man. Like Sora loves everybody, but he like does not even remember any of the Final Fantasy characters.
I would say he would if they were brought up in the story. Like, I get why
Yeah,
they're
he
not in the
would've.
story. What?
He would have remembered him, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like he didn't lose his memory of that.
Okay.
They didn't mean anything to him. He's like, everybody who means something to me is here right now.
I remember that.
It's strange.
How did you see that
Reg.
cutscene? That was cut content.
It's just, I remember him even like specifically saying like, I didn't like Squall.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
They don't call him Squall though, did they?
Leon, they
Leon,
call him
yeah.
Leon. The driving force for me to play Kingdom Hearts was the Final Fantasy characters
sure,
back in
yeah.
the way. That was like the number one reason that I played the game was to see the interactions with those characters, and it's a bummer. I wish they would have been in there, but I think going into Kingdom Hearts 3, like I was interested enough in what was going on with Sora, with Riku, with Kairi, with Ventus, with Terra, with Aqua, that like I felt like there was enough to kind of pay attention to and to interact with, like to a ridiculous degree. Like they threw in everything. Man.
Yeah.
Things that I didn't think would be referenced were totally referenced. And so there was a lot going on with
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3. So I think it kind of lessened the blow a little bit for me.
For sure. If I feel like they could have worked him in maybe a little bit, but it might just felt cheap. Maybe
I
don't
mean,
know.
Vivi still
When-
lives in Twilight Town.
Yeah,
when,
he does. Twilight
So-
Town was way smaller this time.
When Sora went to like the cloud area and he met the Kithari,
the
I thought-
final world.
I thought that character was like waiting for Cloud because they were like, yeah, I'm waiting for someone.
I think that's
So
a
I thought it was
reference
gonna be Cloud or
to-
something.
We'll talk about that kind of stuff.
yeah,
but
cool,
I have
cool.
a theory about it. It's probably
cool.
not true at all.
I'm
But
curious.
yeah, I think it does hurt not having a little bit. But the game had so much story already packed into it. I guess, especially at the end, like they had a lot of loose ends to wrap up.
Yeah.
And they wrapped up more than I honestly expected them to.
Yes.
Like they didn't wrap up the box. We were talking about that. Like the box was just kind of like a little tease, I guess, throughout the game of just Maleficent and Pete going around looking for it.
Oh man, Maleficent
Yeah.
and Pete, man.
Yeah, there was no payoff there. Dude,
Yeah.
DLC. I have so much faith in
I don't think the
DLC.
box will be paid off for a while. That's going to be like, that box will be paid off in like 10 years.
That's
maybe.
like an Infinity Stone.
That's because like these are the breadcrumbs to the next arc or whatever it's going to be, because this was all about
Kingdom Hearts
Xehanort
Shippuden.
finishing that saga off. But so yeah, they have
An
things
eye
keep
patch
going.
guy wants the box too, right?
Zigbar or
Zigbar wants-
Lushu.
But that's his next part of his plan, right?
He has the box.
Oh,
He's
okay.
had the box.
Great. Then that's
So
all
he
set.
got the Keyblade back. I mean, I guess we could just talk about the ending, just going like right off, going
Wherever
nuts
you
right
want,
off.
Brad.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go nuts right
like
off.
this is stuff we have to talk about. I feel like for this spoiler mode, I want
Yeah.
to talk about when we get to the Keyblade graveyard, like the 7 Guardians of Light fighting the 13 Vessels of Darkness.
The best part of the game.
When it just like stuff gets real nuts real quick. Like I did not expect that. That was the one part I thought a Final Fantasy character was going to show up, is when they're fighting and they lose, and I was like, oh boy, when's my boy Cloud coming to
Yeah.
step in, or Squall,
Yep.
something like that, and he's just like in like heaven or something, like heaven for your heart or something like that. I was like, oh, this is weird. It was cool there was a Chi 3 there, but could have got a little Final Fantasy character there.
Nuking the Heartless from the train was so good.
Dude, they say I think you use the train like once or twice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
once against one of the Titans, and then they
Yeah.
just bring it back right then.
Yeah, it's like when the train comes out, dude. It gets
Yeah,
real.
when the train comes out,
when the train comes out.
it's time to wreck.
I really loved the part of the game where you're in the graveyard and everyone else is kind of off fighting their own battles. And as Sora, you get to go from battle to battle to battle.
Oh,
Kind
you
of
mean
like,
the walls have risen it?
yes,
The
the
best.
walls
You
are
get to
up.
choose,
You get
yeah.
to choose who you want to fight with. What did
Yeah.
you guys think about? Like that was
I
one of my
loved
favorite
that.
moments
Cool.
of the game.
Yeah,
10 out of
really
10.
cool.
One of the greatest last acts of any video game I've ever played. Just a 4-hour culmination of emotions and feelings that you cannot manufacture, you have to earn, and Kingdom Hearts earned it. Just going, fighting every organization member, having all these moments, teaming up with all the teams. Like you were saying, you got Riku and Mickey, and then
yeah.
you're with Axel and Kyrie or whatever, and then
you got-
Roxas and Aqua. It's just like all these team ups.
Sorry, I want to dial back real quick before
Nuts.
this. I want to talk about Aqua. When you get Aqua back,
Yeah, another highlight.
another highlight.
Yeah.
Been gone for a while in the realm of darkness. Got Norded, as the kids like to say.
When Aqua says you took too long,
Took
you're
too
like,
long.
Oh,
It's like
oh damn.
Riku was like devastated
Yeah.
because he did not.
he
know.
apologized like 3 times. He was like, dude.
But you come in there with Sora in the realm of darkness. You beat her, then she joins you. And one of my favorite moments of the game is when you go get Ventus out of it's Castle Oblivion.
Yeah,
But then it
reassembled.
turns
Yes.
back
So
into
cool.
their home. What it was? I don't
Land of
remember.
Land- yep.
Land of Departure turns back into that, and you're just like, my mind was blown right there. Then you get to play as Aqua.
Yeah, dude, they have the Phantom Menace vibes. They're like
Yeah.
cut off in the
Yeah,
shield.
Aqua just summons the barrier. Yeah. I love that moment because you've been wanting to get Aqua this whole time, and then there's kind of that despair of seeing Aqua fall to the darkness, and you have to fight her. But I think what really makes it work is up until that point, that is like by far the hardest fight in the game, and it's thematically appropriate as well. And I kind of wish a couple of more fights felt like
Sure.
that had, I guess, that level of intensity.
Did any of you guys
But-
do the optional boss?
Who's
I
the
actually
optional
haven't
boss?
done the optional boss
So there's
yet.
like a Battlegate boss you could do. He's in the Keyblade Graveyard.
Oh, I got so bored of the battle gates because they're all like just
Most of them are pretty like just kill dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
This one has like a unique boss.
cool.
He's like the hardest boss in the game.
All right, I kind of want to go to that. What is it?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's not a
Spoiler
fun.
mode, baby.
It's nothing like
I guess if you want to go back,
Cloud or
it's
anything.
just like a heartless kind of thing like that.
Is it one of those tall guys?
No,
with
no,
a
no,
big
no,
heart in the
no.
middle?
He's
Okay.
like humanoid. He's like a little bigger than a humanoid.
This is one of
It's
my
like a one-on-one
expectations.
duel kind of thing.
My expectations always get the better of me. Like God of War had the battle gates, and I was like, oh, perfect time for a Cyclops from the old games to
Yes.
come out in one of these. And with the battle gates, I was like, dude, perfect time for Sephiroth to show up.
I think that's a hard thing
it's
with
like
Kingdom
my
Hearts,
fault.
right?
Yeah.
Where you have this matchup and anything could happen, that you do kind of set yourself up for disappointment
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
They also got Roxas and Shion back.
Yeah.
Which I was like, what? then there's this moment where Roxas and Ventus are both together, and they just like kind of look at each other. I'm like, oh, this is weird. But like, they don't even say anything like that. But I was like, oh, okay, I appreciate that. That's cool because Axel's there, dude, and he's all stoked to have them all back. This game was like a nice reunion for everything that we've been going through.
So many reunions.
Then we go to Scala and Calum, I believe it's called, the original world, or the world where Keyblade wielders were.
I'm sorry, need one thing explained to me before
Sure.
we go there. So, everybody gets wiped out by one of the demon towers, right?
Yes.
Sora has to reassemble himself.
And he collects all their hearts.
Yeah, comes back, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a second chance. And the only thing that changes on the second chance is Armored Terra shows up and is sick. It's got like a whip sword. And just like,
That's all you need.
but like, where did he come from? And then where did he go?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
What in the world?
Is that a thing? Is that like we just don't know?
Well,
But it might know. I just don't
Birth
know.
by Sleep's ending. That's kind of like what.
Like the
happens.
yeah.
It wasn't also like a secret fight or something in Birth
Yeah,
by
you
Sleep?
could like fight
The
the
lingering
armor.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's basically
it's like I think Damiani's like
Yeah.
Ben's kind of right. Someone's in the comment or just
So there's
furious
no-
right now.
the-
But
it's like
fight-
it's when Terra
Sorry.
got, when
The
Terra
fight is in
gets-
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, when Terra gets consumed by
Xehanort.
Xehanort in
Yeah.
the final confrontation, like essentially, like think of like as you said, lingering will. It's like some part of him was bestowed upon the armor or whatever, and that's what actually like fought back Xehanort at that point. And that's what like ultimately like thwarted the first formation, like him from getting Kingdom Hearts the first time. So one of the biggest mysteries is like we knew that we knew parts about like Terra's backstory, but like we always want to know like where did his body go and stuff, you know, like where did like the armor go and stuff at the end of that fight? Did it stay in the Keyblade Graveyard?
Yeah.
And this game answered like both questions. It's like one of his body part or whatever became one of the real organization.
Xehanort guys, yeah.
Yeah, one of the Xehanort guys. And then I guess his lingering will was still in the Keyblade Graveyard and it gets summoned, I guess.
By Sora's will, I
I
guess?
guess-
Because that would be the only thing. That was the only thing that changed from one timeline
That
to
makes
the
sense.
other. Is the armor showed up in that one moment.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because the thing I don't understand is like when you're doing it, you're also because it's I keep forgetting the not Moogle thing's name for
Chirithy.
Yeah, because it was only in Kingdom Hearts Key and I never like played that one. But you summon real users for that.
Insane.
Yeah,
Mash the triangle as hard as you can.
It's like stealing from Yoko Taro, pretty much.
That might be my
Like,
single favorite moment in the game. Was seeing the names pop
So
up.
Yeah.
And how they
sick.
orchestrated
And the music
that whole
of
because
Point
it's
two,
I think his name's Ephraim, the character they show from Key.
Okay.
He's got the scarf.
Hey.
He's like,
Yeah.
are you ready?
Yeah.
Kyle, I can't say this definitively, but
Okay.
to maybe speculate on your question, they do show that much like Riku, Kairi, and Sora, Terra, Ventus, and Aqua are all connected to each other and kind of respond to each other when they're in danger. And you also have to keep in mind that like Ventus is inside of Sora, so at the Keyblade Graveyard with Terra using his mind and resisting Xehanort and like being in the Keyblade armor, maybe that was responding to Ventus being there.
Sure. And I forget that actually the Demon Tower still starts sucking people up. And then the thing that changes in Sora is he does activate the mobile game powers
Yes.
the second time around. Whereas the first
while
time he
riding,
just gives
yeah.
in. Yeah.
That was the mobile game moment was also a time for me where I was like, okay, you know, this whole game I've done a pretty good job of like everything's made sense. I'm understanding this. I understand the context and importance of this. Then that mobile game character turned around and I was like, nope, don't have that. Don't have the context for that.
He was in back cover just
for a
briefly
second,
though.
He was in back cover and I watched
But,
back
like, they
cover,
don't
but he-
really give
yeah,
you- yeah.
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 Dude, when Riku stepped in front, it was like,
Yeah. So
And it's like his feet start wearing away, just like he's.
yeah,
oh,
Riku.
epic.
Oh, also
Oh,
playing
Sora, I know you don't believe that. Shut up.
Yeah, dude.
And then he,
Playing-
he gets taken, man.
playing as Riku is also 10 out of 10 moments. When
Yeah,
you
he's
I think you got to do it
beefy,
twice. Yeah.
I was actually
He's a
a little bit
Keyblade master.
disappointed that you didn't get to do it more.
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
it's just like it
yeah,
just feels
Yeah.
good, man.
That was an overall disappointment with the game, or not disappointment, but like something I would hope would happen, but didn't realize that expectation was not just the shortage of times you play as Riku and the time you play as Aqua, but didn't get a chance to play as any other characters in the game. Like I was like, hey, am I gonna play as Kairi? Am I gonna play as Axel? Am I gonna play as Mickey in this one? And not only did I not get that realized in any fashion, but I also want to say before we get too much ending stuff, I feel like the character had the most disservice done to them in this game was Kyrie.
Absolutely.
100%,
Damiani
100%.
was my biggest complaint with the
100%.
game is
That was my
what are they
biggest
doing
letdown.
with Kyrie
For the whole
and why
franchise.
is it nothing?
Yeah.
Why do they keep...
Well, I would say her and Lee didn't really do much at all. They just kind of fought in that one fight. I get that they're new Keyblade wielders and everything. They've trained, I don't know how long they're actually training, like off in the woods with Merlin or whatever. So they are total noobs or whatever you want to say.
Yamcha and Chaozu.
Could have used just a. But
Brett-
she has like the whole moment with Sora like coming back and her guiding him, kind of stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I don't even think I would be as disappointed if they kind of just set that up in Kingdom Hearts 3 and it's like, hey, okay, Kyrie and Lee are over here doing they're learning how to be Keyblade wielders. But that was the hypest moment for me for Dream Drop Distance is being like, oh shit, Kyrie's stepping into the fray.
Yeah.
That's going to pay off in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
She's going to have a more active role than she's ever had. And so I think like playing Dream Drop Distance, getting all excited, and then waiting all this time to see Kyrie do almost nothing, I think was really a bummer.
One defense I will have for that is the main, like 1 and 2 are mostly Sora's story. Like they've always been kind of Sora's story, and this is like the first time we've actually got to play besides Mickey briefly in 2 if you like die in a boss fight. So they threw you a little bone here and there, but I feel like there's gonna be more games coming, like probably a lot more. So
I just think
hopefully
they did
we'll
a
get
better
more time.
job with the other characters. Like I think the Birth by Sleep cast really kind of got a lot of action and had their story resolved. I think the 358 Days Over 2 cast like had maybe not as good of a resolution as the Birth by Sleep cast, but they still had a lot going on. And so just with Kyrie, it didn't even need to be that much. I don't think
Sure.
they didn't need to
me a
remove
moment.
it from Sora's
I think
story,
we'll get
but
more.
I hope
Like
so.
I
I
don't
have
know.
a
I don't
question.
think. Okay.
I have a hot take.
Okay.
Not a hot take.
Question or hot take?
A theory
Oh, okay.
that I need answered.
Theory take.
Theory of development. The game kind of has a slow build up, a real slow crawl throughout all of the worlds. Really, really slow paced, kind of, setting the tone, really kind of peeling it back. After Big Hero 6, then it's all of a sudden time for the end. Time to go to Keyblade Graveyard,
Or
ramp
Pirates,
it up.
depending on which order you did them in. Yeah.
Sure, but if you follow about the levels or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
the levels of
Yeah.
the worlds, it's like, okay, time for the end, the finale. Did you get a Phantom Pain vibe here, where all of a sudden they were just like, "Yo, we got to wrap this up.
Hubert,
Here's a spot where we
would
can
if
just
the ending
accelerate to
wasn't
the
like
end."
3 hours.
Say it again.
I would have if the ending wasn't so long.
Got it.
It's
Yeah,
like Phantom Pain. Like there isn't. Like they just cut the ending.
for
Period.
sure. Like it's a complete game, but I also feel like maybe they were planning on having a few more worlds
Oh,
in
I'm
here
sure they probably
somewhere.
did, yeah.
So Huber, I've
Just
seen,
a theory. Just I don't know.
I've seen this complaint a lot, how people get frustrated that the Kingdom Hearts story doesn't primarily happen until the end. And that's true, but that's also been true in so many other Kingdom Hearts games for me. That I guess I kind of expected that going in.
Got it.
And I think the other thing, like having just gone through Birth by Sleep, when you would go through Disney World, with each of the 3 characters, they would kind of just have this moment and they'd be like, yeah, I really do love my friends. And that would be basically their ending scene for
Yeah.
each world.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I wouldn't say it was done well. I wouldn't go that far, but you would get moments. So you'd get like Vanitas being in Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
and having that showdown with Sora.
Riku, Big Hero 6.
Oh, I would say it's better than most of the games.
Yeah, I would say like introducing the Organization 13 members and kind of just having them poke at Sora a little bit kept me on the hook better than past Kingdom Hearts games have done with their Disney worlds, where they felt even more not relevant to the main plot.
What do you think, Damiani?
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I think they did a much better job. And they even did in between worlds at points. They did the asides, like what is Riku and Mickey doing? Like what we got to that was actually advancing the plot. Like we get it. They're trying to we're trying to find Aqua. They're gonna help, and that felt like a main point. But I felt like the most we got from Kyrie and Axel/Lee was. They're off in a world Merlin created that's basically the
Hyperbolic time chamber,
Yeah.
dude.
and we just see them. There's some good moments, like Axel or Lee trying to deal with he's trying to remember Shion. He goes, I remember Roxas to an extent, but there's this other person, and
That was a good
you're
scene.
waiting for that payoff and stuff. And that was good, and it was helping him. But I never really saw any development with Kyrie as a character.
Yeah.
Everyone else on some level had some character development or had like a stake they were working towards completing. And then I know Kyrie was like trying to improve becoming a Keyblade wielder, but I just wish I got to peek behind that curtain a little bit more.
Sure.
Like just even a scene of them training together,
Yeah,
and
for
seeing
sure.
them coming along
Because they're just talking on a log for all their training.
Dude,
it looks like.
favorite moment is when talking about how self-aware it is. Two things stand out. One, the guitar dude getting benched.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Because like you've been here for a while, but I still have no idea who. I still don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And then Axel, when he's like, "This is a lot to memorize.
Yeah.
Like
A
I
lot to
can't
take in,
memorize
yeah.
all
Yeah,
this." It's so good.
Speaking of guitar guy, clarification. So you have this scene where they pull out some of the organization members and they're like, "Hey, you're different." Is that because there's somebody's were leaders of unions? At
One of them
point?
was Marluxia was a leader of was a foreteller. So the
Okay.
foretellers, you guys remember with the masks or whatever.
Marluxia was one of those?
They go away, then there's new ones that come in. Marluxia is one of them, and Ventus is also one of them. But this is like 1,000 years in the past or
So
something like that.
why were they saying that those organization members were different? I guess is my
Do you mean
question.
who is like, why do I think I picked you for 9 through 12? That
Yeah,
part?
yeah.
Maybe
He
they're
kind of alludes
stronger.
that this is a different group.
Her name skipped my head. Blonde hair girl.
Larxene.
Larxene. She was also from a long time ago also. So maybe because they have connections in the past or something like that, they could be there.
And I felt like the top tier guys were more connected to Xehanort. It was like young Xehanort, Zemnis, and Ansem, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So the lower tier dudes, like,
They were lower
were
tier.
just lower tier
Yeah.
people that needed to be together to get
Yeah, when
their
they
job done.
quote unquote died, they become somebodies again, pretty much like that. That's why you see Isa at the end with Axel and everything like that. Blue hair dude.
Which was
thank
really
you.
nice.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
whole ending cutscene
So
was
jolly, dude.
was played so well, and the bittersweet note at the end just landed perfectly for me. Yeah, it was great.
What did you guys think about the fight with the 13 Vessels of Darkness, then to the Xehanort fight? Because I thought that was pretty sick.
So, Brad, we kind of talking about it before, and the thing that I want to say is like if you take a step back and you think about like kind of how artificial that situation was set up, where it's like, okay, Sora, you can choose all of these paths, and you're gonna fight all of them individually, and you're gonna have a little scene that like gives you resolution for each of them. Like it feels very constructed, I guess, but you're willing to sacrifice all that because it's just so damn hype.
just
Like you
so
just
hype.
don't care.
Yeah.
Like you would do another round of fights just because like these are characters that I think in a lot of ways have primarily been on the sidelines. Obviously you fought them before in the series, but the whole point of Organization 13 is how mysterious they are in a lot of ways to me. And so just getting that final showdown, having it be at the very end of the game, like forget logic, like let's just have a anime showdown, and it was great.
And I loved like the choice too of just thinking, because you see who it is and who they're fighting. So it's like, dude, Riku is like freaking Goku, Vegeta. You're fine.
Oh.
I'm gonna go help King Mickey because Riku can handle himself.
I was talking about Scala and Calum, the three, like where they had the helmets, the three things in the
I'm
town.
sorry.
That's what I was
I'm
talking
sorry.
That fight
about. So you
rules.
fight those three, then you fight Xehanort, actually, who puts on that sick armor.
Yeah,
goat
the armor was amazing.
And you're like battling throughout the scene, you're like underwater and everything like that. Then you guys fight on top when he has the Keyblade. Woo,
dude.
baby.
I do need a pro strat because this is the one non-gummy ship death I had was during that fight. The chairs come up, the 13 chairs, and he just like hits you 50 times. Like it's like a 50 hit combo, and I'm like mashing block, and then like you just die.
You probably just got in a frame trap, dude.
Yeah, frame trap. You frame trap.
Did that happen to anyone else when you go to like the 13 chairs?
I don't remember.
I
So
don't
this time
remember
I,
that happening to me.
I like saved up a heal, like waiting for that.
You got frame trapped.
Yeah,
He got you, man.
he got me. But yeah, that fight rules. That fight is like it's intense. It's the weird zero grav gets a little shaky
Yeah.
sometimes.
I would have
Obviously,
liked Xehanort to be a little more surprised. For someone who has spent this much time manipulating from the shadows and setting up this plan, this master plan to kind of just take over, Sora goes toe to toe with him and like takes him out, and he kind of just accepted it. I think I needed just one of like, like, you know, I've set all this up, but now I'm losing to you. He's
It,
kinda
it
just
not
like,
being Leonard Nimoy
Yeah, he
was
kinda
also
did
a
I thought
huge
he said this cannot be.
Yeah, he
the
kinda did that.
cliche thing
And when when Ericus comes out of
Leonard.
Terra's heart, it's
it's
like
just not the same.
it was
man.
it was
Not the same.
checkmate GG.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't even care about recasting it to sound like him. I think there's
I know.
big name person.
Yeah.
It was a
just-
take. I think it was a strong take on the
Rutger
character.
Hauer is cool.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
really
it
good.
was a unique take. They're like,
yeah.
we'd
But I
rather
know
go with this
Leonard
than dare to
Leonard
try to
Nimoy
replace
does
her.
it.
This is a very superficial thing, but I gotta say it because I appreciate it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I love when final boss battle arenas feel like they have this grandeur to them. They have this like, oh my god, I'm at the end of the game, and just looking at the area you're in gets your blood pumping. It being in that city at the end, it just looks so like mysterious and kind of holy, and the way that it was like teased at the beginning of the game and then
Yeah.
you wrap around all the way back at the end, like that fight in itself was cool, but I don't think it would have been nearly as cool for me were it not for that environment. Just I loved it.
Yeah,
loved
totally.
it.
Yeah. So fight ends. Day is saved. Ericus and Xehanort bounce. They're gone. They turn into like kids
Dude.
again.
Yeah.
Such a moment. So many moments.
Then
Yeah, Huber, I think that's why it's not like, no, because like it's the exact same reaction to him losing that chess match.
yeah,
True.
It's just kind of like,
yeah. They showed the chess
call.
game.
damn, you got me.
Yeah,
You know, it's
you're
more,
right.
it's more like that. You know,
Yeah.
it isn't like,
You got me, kid.
I'll come back, I'll get you. It's
Yeah.
a totally different kind of villain reaction. I kind of like it.
Totally.
It's also weird for me because I feel like when you hear Xehanort explain like this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, it's not so much like I want to cause as much pain and suffering as possible. It's that like I think this should happen. I'm very curious about this. This is the way I think the world should be. And so I think he just kind of finally accepts like, oh, that it's not going to happen. Like my plan for the future isn't going to work out.
Let's talk about the epilogue.
Yeah.
So
Oh boy.
back at the Keyblade graveyard, Zigbar's there with the box and the Keyblade that's been handed down, the Master of Masters Keyblade. Guess what? He's Lushu though, also now. Just some crazy Metal Gear Ocelot liquid stuff going on.
It really is kind of like Ocelot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a good comparison.
I needed something like that, honestly.
They're just like, you look different now. Like, four of the foretellers come back. The one, I forgot her name, who made the dandelions. Ben, you might remember.
Ava?
Yes, she is not there, and they
that's her
question that.
Yeah,
And he
they do.
goes,
Yeah.
and he's like, she must have like done her mission or something like that. So whatever that is. And it just kind of wraps up there, and we're just like, what? Are these going to be the foretellers? Are they going to be the new vessels of darkness that's going to be coming up?
Well, yes.
Yes.
Because at the end, when you see Xehanort and Ericus playing chess on the dark
Yes,
pieces,
good call, Ben.
The tops of the chess pieces are the symbols
That's
for the
right. I
foretellers.
forgot about that.
Ooh,
Nice call, Ben.
Ben.
So yeah, they will be the new, probably the new arc going forward. Nice little tease. But then we got
Kingdom Hearts 4. How long do we gotta wait?
yeah.
Let's go.
Then we probably got like the most insane Nomura thing I've ever seen in my life coming through. So at the toy store, we saw a CG trailer for a video game that Rex was playing called Virium Rex, which I think means True King in Latin.
And I think
Latin,
that
yeah.
also attributed to the hurt of no Final Fantasy when
it
we
was
saw.
almost mocking it.
Yeah, when
Yes.
we saw
Well,
that,
it's
the
like a spite pick.
expectations
We saw like all the characters that resembled versus 13 characters looked like it. There was even
I thought Noctis was showing
Stella.
up.
There was Stella.
This might be absolute nonsense and just internet BS.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody posting a theory that the Master of Masters is Noctis, and like I couldn't.
I'd hear him out. I'm ready to hear him out.
That's sick.
What if,
I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to listen.
And then they put there's an image, I'm sure you've all seen it, of Noctis sitting on the throne with like his hand on his face.
Yeah.
And then right next to that, there's also an image of Sora almost in the exact same pose, and I'm like, what's going on?
So Xehanort like killed Kairi, quote unquote, and Sora went to save her. Then we see the ending with them sitting there.
Yeah.
Then Sora disappears. So we're like, what happened? Then in this movie, Sora and Riku wake up in essentially what is Tokyo. They're in Tokyo. Sora is in Akihabara.
Nice.
And Riku's in Shinjuku. There is the 104 building from The World's Ends with You there. It's a real building in Japan. I think it's like a 9 or something, but there's a 4 on it in The World Ends with You. As you know, they've been in past games, so they could also be there. Then we see the Tokyo Metropolitan Building, which Noctis's castle was modeled after in Shinjuku. Guess who's sitting on it? Yozora from Virium Rex, who is
Wait, the two different colored eyes?
yes,
Yeah.
he
He's
is
there, boss.
That's from Virum Rex? He's
Yes,
there.
he's sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. DLC.
So Yozora's name in Japanese, I believe, means night sky.
Can we just say how close it sounds to Yorha?
Yes.
And Sora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's night sky. That's his name.
Yeah.
And Noctis's name means night sky in Latin. So Nomura is not letting go.
Playing around.
And the music is a mix
It's
of a bunch of
Somnus.
songs, and Somnus is part of the mix.
What is
Which
that?
was like the theme of Versus 13. It's the title music in 15, though.
The title screen music.
Okay.
That's like
This runs deep.
So
Yeah,
they're
the master
they're
thing.
kind of both just running or walking through Tokyo, looking at everything. Then we see a hooded figure on top of the roof, as fashioned on the epilogues, pretty much. A black coated figure doing a heart-shaped hand gesture at the moon, like Kingdom Hearts. Could be the Master of Masters. Could be Zigbar.
it's Cloud.
It could be Cloud. I mean, anything's. It could be Noctis at this point. Anything's possible.
I guess I just
That's
assumed
what-
it was the Master of Masters,
That's
but
all the Final
I don't know
Fantasy
that for
characters
sure.
went. They died and went to Shibuya.
You ready for your mind blown? I think this is true that the voice actor of the Master of Masters is Noctis's voice actor.
Yes, the English voice actor for the Master of Masters is Noctis's English VO, but that's not true in Japan.
Japanese,
Yeah.
okay, but like that's just a crazy, funny little thing.
man.
So who the hell knows where this game is gonna go? Like, if there's gonna be World Ends with You characters, maybe it'll just be tons of Final Fantasy characters in this one.
I'm cool with made-up
Yes.
characters from a made-up video game, too. That's cool.
What do you got, Damiani?
Was Neko's final words to Sora before he leaves the world in Dream Drop Distance, because that was the cameo character. His final line to Sora is "See you in Shibuya."
See you in Shibuya.
That did happen, didn't it?
Yes.
You know what, though? That could have... That's
So,
No,
what
no
else
more.
is
It's
he going
not
to say?
about.
What else is he going to say?
No more.
Damiani,
Alright.
do you think maybe some of the worlds in the next Kingdom Hearts will be actual Square games?
I would love that to be true. I mean,
Take us to Midgard.
thematically, it makes sense because Sora, if you believe what young Xehanort said, is that Sora's time had run out and that there was a heavy price to pay for his actions.
Yeah.
And it was definitely foreshadowed. So
I
it's-
really liked that stuff,
Yeah,
actually.
so he dies. We don't know exactly why, why he died, like what he did to rescue Kairi.
Yeah.
We don't ever see that.
Right.
So we don't know exactly what triggered that, but we do know he vanishes in the ending, kind of like almost Tidus style.
Yep.
Like, bye.
Total.
Faith in him, this like resurrected.
Jedi style.
But
dude.
it's like, why is
Jedi.
Riku there too?
Yeah,
It's
so that's
like,
the thing. Like Sora, I've seen some arguments that say Sora ended up in the part that is where the dead end up in the world ends with you.
Yes.
And that Sora's gonna have to go through the same trial that they go through.
The time thing, yeah.
the time thing
On the hand.
Whereas Riku is in a. It's apparently I don't know the explanation behind this, but Shinjuku is important to the world ends with you because apparently it's a different area.
I can't
and
rem-
It's
I haven't
not
played so long.
not governed by the same rules as Shibuya is,
Okay.
or something like that. I don't know if that's entirely true. But that was what people are arguing because some people are arguing that Riku straight up ended up in freaking Final Fantasy 15 world or whatever.
Virum
Right.
Rex.
Yeah.
It seems like,
Like,
which
they're,
is
they're
15.
separate worlds, but they're apparently not. They're in the same. They're in the same universe right now. Just they're in separate areas of that universe.
I'd buy that. They're not going to find each other.
Because they're
Yeah.
color coded too. Like Sora's stuff is like has a red tint to it, and Riku's has like a bluish tint.
Cool.
This could also be like what Riku did in Dream Drop Distance, where he dove in, like when Sora went to fell into the deep sleep,
yeah.
and Riku had to dive in. Could be like the same thing. Like the mission, maybe Riku is going in there. Maybe we'll see Kairi as well. They're going to save Sora or something. That could be the plan. Who knows? But like, I like this idea. I think I would love to see them go to Square Enix games or just like Final Fantasy worlds, because that's like my deepest wish at this point is now that we've gotten this beautiful payoff to the Xehanort storyline. The biggest negative I could say about the ending and the secret ending is that the tease of the foreteller stuff and that like continuing on, I was like, damn it, I knew this was gonna happen. This is gonna be more crap. I don't know a better way to put it. It's gonna be so convoluted. Everyone's gonna be like complaining about
More
it.
people in hoods is just the thing I don't want.
But I was like, can we just like go to like Disney and Final Fantasy concept again? Can we just get that? Can we just say like buy the Sora? Like Sora had to like, this is a great end, And like it happened in reverse. My expectations, everything that happened was the reverse of what I expected. I expected all these other people to die. I expected like everyone to be like saved, but then like had to fade away or something. I thought like Ventus was going to disappear. I thought like Rox was going to disappear. I thought
like, reabsorbed or
like
something.
Axel Lee is going to disappear. I think they're all disappearing, and it's just going to be like Sora left alone or something, and with Kyrie, and it's like nope, everyone's alive and safe. Sora's the one who goes away. I was
Which is
like,
cool.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
You got me on that. But conceptually, I would like to see a return to Disney, a focus on Disney and Final Fantasy worlds. I already said like we saw Maleficent and Pete. They were obviously dangling that. It went like nowhere in this story, but it's being teased. It's going somewhere. They better make her the one of the main villains in the next game. Like I'd love to see
She's
a
a big
Disney
spot
villain,
like in 1 again.
and I'd love to see a Final Fantasy villain. Like make them like the
Kefka.
villains.
why-
I don't need invented original characters anymore in Kingdom Hearts. I'd love to see them try something that's a little bit more.
That's another reason I thought
Yeah.
that they maybe cut some stuff out, just because Maleficent and Pete's storyline was
The
was
Maleficent
nothing.
and Pete thing was especially disappointing because it's not like they popped it at the end and were like, "Hey, we're looking for the box 2."
Yeah.
Within the very beginning of the game, you see them and it's like, "Oh, hey, they're going after
Yeah.
this mysterious box.
Multiple
they're gonna
check-ins.
they're going to be the ones driving this super mysterious, super important narrative forward." Nope, we're going to do nothing.
I wanted the Uneasy Alliance with Maleficent like coming in.
Third party.
yeah, third
she's a cool
party.
third
Such
party.
a good point, Ben.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting that to be like Maleficent and Pete were gonna do the payoff for like the foreteller stuff
Yeah.
from like back cover. I was like, okay, here we go. Their secret ending or whatever is gonna like reveal that and it'll conclude it. It's like, nope, we're just kick-starting it, baby. Like this is the next arc, and I was like,
I'm sure this is
boy.
probably just because the experience that I'm coming from, but I think if we are going to kind of set up the foretellers as the people, the darkness that we're squaring off against, I would like more context for them than I've gotten. I've watched back cover. I've not played all of the mobile game yet. Probably won't.
Watch a
so
video.
yeah, I hope that maybe like DLC or some
Sure.
game down the line maybe gives me a little bit more
They
backstory.
They
and-
definitely give a lot more backstory in the phone game.
Yeah.
Like way more.
Yeah.
But I see your point. Like it's not
Yeah.
it's not nice and easy in the collections like the rest
Should
of the
probably
stuff.
should probably just play that phone game because like I want to know, man.
Yeah.
I want to
I
know.
need to know.
But yeah, at the epilogue with the box Zigbar and everything, we see Pete and Maleficent like there, so they're still kind of like, I guess they found the box now. They saw
Wait, you
it.
see them in the background?
Yes, they're there briefly. You see them both stand and they walk off, so they're watching them.
Yeah. That's the very that's the last shot, right?
Yeah.
Maleficent. Best villain.
Man, they just tossed the Pandora's box aside as a goof.
Yeah, they're goofing.
Pretty good.
They
Gotta
go.
respect that goof.
That was a
Pet
good
the
game.
box. Yeah.
I was like, oh wait.
It's like, oh, this box sucks.
Random thought, Brad.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you about the Master of Masters or like obviously he's a big mystery. He's the big point of whatever is happening going forward. But you hear kind of about this time before, this time of fairy tales. And I think like having a Kingdom Hearts game, I guess kind of beyond what happened in the mobile game, like kind of exploring that time where everything was together. I don't know. I think like the way that I can see things going forward, I guess, is you have your next big story kind of happen back then when the foretellers were in their prime, flesh that out even more than it's already been fleshed out, and then launch back to like Riku and Sora. Kind of do a 2 to Birth by Sleep. sort of
Yes,
deal.
Ben, I was going to say, for the amount of spin-off games we've gotten for this series, I think that's a totally reasonable thing to expect to happen. Like, the secret ending of 2, when I saw that, and they're fighting the Keyblade Graveyard, and this old man, we have no idea who any of this is.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is going on right now? Kind of thing like that. So they could easily do something more like playing as them or stuff like that. The new foretellers, like, because there's the other foretellers that not a lot of people have seen because they didn't play the mobile game.
Right.
So they got to show those off some
That
point.
seems ripe for DLC.
And it's kind of exciting, right? Because there's no DS option anymore. There's no PSP option anymore.
Right.
They can make another mobile game.
They can make a Switch game.
They can make a Switch game, but it's never going to be like a super scaled back DS game anymore, which is kind of exciting.
He just makes it on the DS because he likes it.
Game Boy Advance, right? Is that what the card game was on?
Yeah, Chain of
Chain of
Memories.
Memories.
Yeah, there's never going to be a Chain of Memories
But
again.
Along those same lines, I wonder if because of that, because we're kind of unifying the platforms a little bit more, or at least
Yeah.
it seems that way, if the combat is just going to be like it is in Kingdom Hearts 3, where it's kind of the similar system, or if they're going to do something like a Chain of Memories with cards, or if they're going to do something like Birth by Sleep with a command deck. I wonder if they're going to have these not numbered, but still more kind of experimental, to some degree, games going
I
forward.
like that. I think cards was because of the platform.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that
I
would
agree.
take him-
I agree 100%.
The next one will be on PC only, and it'll be in RTS.
Okay. All right.
At the
Try to
game
get good.
store only, exclusive.
If you said Kingdom Hearts VR, man, I'm there.
There is Kingdom Hearts VR.
Is
coming.
there?
It looks really stupid.
Yeah, what
Oh.
was that?
It's
I
just
didn't
like
know that.
they showed like a brief thing of like some moron swinging a keyblade like
Yes,
this,
and you're like watching cutscenes.
and I was
in
like,
first
oh, this
person.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something along Damiani said about wanting more Final Fantasy worlds, like talking about like what.
Yeah,
your
let's talk
desires
about
for
like
future
what we
stuff.
want from the future, what we want from DLC, because apparently he's keen on the idea.
Yes,
But no
more-
season pass?
more,
That was the thing?
Yeah, no season pass, but
There
DLC's
probably won't be
okay.
I bet there won't be a final mix.
Because
Oh,
they
just
don't
keep
need
adding
to
more?
anymore
They
though,
don't
because they can just do
anymore, yeah.
DLCs.
Yeah.
I was-
One thing I really want is more interactivity between Disney characters.
Sure.
So like, I mean, I
The
love Donald and
characters from
Goofy.
like worlds connecting
Yeah,
more.
like I want like Ariel to join our party. And
She
so,
was a
like,
summon.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That goes
I
against
love
like
that,
the
but
whole.
Disney. So the story is that Disney has a strict rule against the crossover of their characters in other stories.
Yeah.
The exception was they allowed the classical characters, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, were okayed, but then the Pixar people came in and said like, hey. We like because they finally convinced Pixar to do it as well.
Yeah.
They said, all right, we have some conditions and stuff as well for our stuff being in there. One of them is that like our worlds can't be a simple retelling. That's why their stories were like follow-ups
Cool.
to their things rather than a retelling or original version.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is going to be that they don't seem too keen on letting their other characters mix with other characters.
That's what's fun though, dude.
I would love it, but like I think that's not gonna be a reality. Ben,
Man,
you really want to
I
say
just
something?
I just
Sorry.
saw Wreck-It Ralph wrecks the internet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got all those princesses talking to each other. Best scene in the movie.
That's a movie. This is a video game. One
Okay,
step
I'm
at a
just
time.
saying it's good. There's a lot of dynamics.
I know. I
there.
hear you.
You get this in Twilight Town in 3, where you have the little chef and Scrooge, and I
Yes.
appreciate those little interactions.
So good.
And then I think about
Huey
Traverse
Dewey
Town
Louie.
in 1, and you have Merlin, and you have the fairy godmother, and it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be crazy, but I do
Yes.
agree that them just even existing in the same space kind of helps sell this, like, hey, there are all these worlds out there. But to fight against that, Donald and Goofy repeatedly say like, "Oh man, we're
gotta keep
knights.
up-
We got to keep the order of the
Keep the
world."
order. Yeah.
Always screaming.
Yeah, they are always screaming
I
order.
hate that.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
why,
like
that's
it
why
either.
I want to reboot. That's
Yeah.
why I want like them to like. I know they're going to continue with the storyline.
Yeah.
Probably, but I would love them to do a clean start, like just do a new Kingdom Hearts where they could come up with these the concept of we could do this, like we could have Final Fantasy in Disney World.
It's gonna happen.
We
You don't need to
like
reboot
they
Yeah,
it.
you don't
they
need a
finally-
reboot
they
to do
finally
that.
Convince them.
They could just be like, the
Well, I don't
order's
want them
done.
I don't want them to continue the foreteller stuff. Like I really don't want that storyline to continue.
Oh,
I
it's
think-
gonna continue.
not-
I mean,
yeah, that's not
what I'm
happening.
saying. I'm not getting that. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
not getting that. But like, I would love to see your party comprised of only Disney and Final Fantasy characters. Like my dream is like Mickey and like Cloud or Squall meet each other, and they just say to each other like, "Oh my, like where'd you come from?" Well, I came from here. I came from here. Like, my world's under assault by like Maleficent or something. Yeah, mine's under assault by this like evil dude named Sephiroth, and it's like each of their other worlds were invaded by like a different like character, and so it's basically like they find a way that they can travel to other worlds. They can talk about it. They can openly talk to other worlds. There's no stupid rule. Don't talk about it. It's violating the order.
Yeah.
It's like we got to go recruit like other like allies to our side, and we got to go see what other damage has been done to other worlds. And it's basically Disney Final Fantasy characters fighting against Disney and Final Fantasy villains. I'd love to see it. And going to some famous locations. Imagine Midgar made like this, like in Kingdom Hearts 3 style. Or going to like any of the other Disney worlds that like they have yet to like make in this engine. It's the possibilities are like awesome. Like you're thinking like, the, what's it called? Seed in like Final Fantasy, like
Eight.
The school.
The school?
The school would be really cool.
yeah, the
Balamb
school.
Garden?
Balamb Garden. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, or going to like Rabanaster in Final Fantasy 12, or just like
Yes.
iconic locations from Final. Like think of Narsh from Final Fantasy 6 made in this, and like you don't need remakes of the old games. They could see parts of old games remade in Kingdom Hearts. Like,
What's
in
the main
Unreal
character
Engine.
from 4's name again?
I'm sorry?
From main character from Final Fantasy 4?
Cecil?
I'm so surprised he's not been in a Kingdom Hearts game because he has that whole arc of like being a Dark Knight and becoming a Paladin. I was like, why is this not in the game yet? Kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
We are running out of time.
Yeah,
Quick final thoughts from anybody? No, that was good. I like it.
So one thing I hate and respect about Kingdom Hearts franchise is that they never let a ball drop. Every single mobile phone Game Boy Advance game is canon, and they never let a thing go. Lost raises a lot of questions and lets a lot of them drop and doesn't care, right? Lost is always about asking questions. Kingdom Hearts also the same, but for some reason Kingdom Hearts never lets a thing go, and I respect it. I would have loved this to just be a story about Sora, right? It's hard for me to feel connected to Roxas the same way I do about this character who I play as. So it's something I love and respect about it and hate. But yeah, it's, to me, a culmination of culminations. It seems like an impossible task, and they pulled it off.
Sure.
And so I like that about Kingdom Hearts.
Cool. Anybody else?
The last, I don't know, let's say month or so, 2 months, something like that. It's been really fun just going down the rabbit hole, either experiencing things for the first time, refreshing myself on things, and just trying to put this mess of a puzzle together. I know it is very convoluted, and people are right to criticize a lot of things, but I also think there is kind of a joy when everything does matter, because you do feel rewarded for actually putting that effort in. The biggest thing that I would say, the fear that I have is I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 2 like since around the time that it came out, and I was like, man, there's so much I don't remember. I didn't play Dream Drop Distance until like the last time that it came out, and part of that is on me for not replaying those things. That's within my power. But I also think it is hard when you have a story that is this intricate to kind of keep that knowledge in your brain for like 7 years.
Absolutely.
So I hope that whatever way we get more Kingdom Hearts, it allows me to kind of just stay on the train a little bit more easily. I do care. I do want to be there.
Wholeheartedly agree with that, Ben. I
Yeah.
think it should be pretty, I feel like this game should be, you could hop into this game way easier than you could the other ones. 'Cause now that arc's done, you could have things scattered from the past games, which it's going to have, but it'd be nice if you can come into this one more fresh, I would say. Kind of like The Witcher 3, I guess. The Witcher 3 had ties back to 2, but a lot of people hopped in this one, so I had a really good time playing for the first time.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why I alluded to maybe taking a birth by sleep approach, because I think on some level, yes, that game is obviously super connected to everything else, but it's like, hey, we've got these new characters, you can kind of focus on where they're from, what their immediate problems are, and so just some way, I think, to kind of jump back in more easily. I don't want them to rush, I don't need them to give me Kingdom Hearts every year or something like that, but just a way to kind of stay connected, I guess, reconnect.
Reconnect, that's right.
Loved it. Bonds.
Yep, Naruto bonds.
Loved all the bonds. Sora is easily one of my favorite characters of all time. Just the best. I can't.
You want to root for him.
I want to root for him.
You want to see him succeed.
I want to hang out with him. I want to be him.
wanna
You are
Cover
very
it.
Sora-esque.
I want to live my life like Sora. So anytime any story, a movie or a game or anything touches me like that, where it's like, wow, I think about this often, then they did something right, for sure.
This was Kingdom Hearts 3 was everything I wanted it to be. It was right from the beginning of the game, I felt like it was just continuing the tradition of the mainline games, down to even the things that some people find annoying. It was still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it didn't fall into the trap of it took so long. It felt so different that didn't feel like a Kingdom Hearts game anymore. It felt like I was at home, and I loved that. And I just loved all the payoffs. I know they were very convenient, but they were very satisfying, very emotional. I really loved that about it. And I was very impressed what they did with the worlds. They delivered on that promise and more. And that gives me so much optimism about the future of the series if they can keep nailing that, how they nailed it in this game. I'm curious to see what they do for future installments, because I was very satisfied with this, and I really strongly feel they need to cut as many ties with people associated as the convoluted storyline of the original. They're going to call it trilogy, even though it was more than 3 games. They'll call it the original trilogy to make this brighter possibilities for the future for Kingdom Hearts, because this was a huge success. Like shipping 5 million copies like in its first few days.
Yes.
They're going to want more. And I'm very happy for Nomura getting to like deliver the swan song for that
His
storyline.
vision.
Yeah, and get not getting like knocked off of it. Yeah. But I have to feel a little concerned for him as well, because I don't know if they're going to allow him to work with the timetables he's used to working with. With how successful this is, I think they're gonna be. You can't 2 years, 2-3 years the next one, bud. You can't wait that long.
He cranked out the other ones pretty fast, like all the spin-off ones.
But those are spin-off.
I know,
ones.
but like
Everyone
Birth by
is,
Sleep was still a substantial game, especially for a PSP game.
People always argue.
So
that
is
should have
Dream
been
Drop.
Like Birth by Sleep should have been like Kingdom Hearts 3.
It kind of, sure.
Yeah. I'm just with what happened to him with 15 getting like knocked off. Him getting to finish this, and now he's a part of Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
At this point, he's going to
part
finish
of it.
15.
Yeah, it's like
In one way or another.
I'm a tiny bit worried about his future.
I just want him to sleep, get some sleep.
Yeah,
man.
get some rest.
He looks so tired.
But I
all the
hope Square
time.
Enix utilizes him to plays to his strengths, because he's obviously got a lot of talents. Business management isn't one of them, so just give him a good management team and let him work his magic.
He's also got to get that 7 remake out the door, too.
That's what I said. Yeah, I said he's still like you got that next.
So I thought
So
we
it's
were
like-
I thought we were going to get a taste of
Nah,
that. in
Hubert, he
Kingdom
doesn't
Hearts
want to
3.
show off
Just like
clouds.
Barrett showing up would be sick, dude.
But think about this, Hubert. The game is made in the same engine.
Yeah.
So think about.
That's what I thought.
Now
It'd be so easy. It's like, all right, let's just go
Yo.
to Midgar now,
Copy
hang
and
out
paste.
for a second.
having
copy
this game
paste.
under their belt.
Exactly. It's so easy.
Yo, having this game under their belt, this like scale of a game,
Yeah.
I feel more optimistic about Final Fantasy 7 Remake now
too.
that they brought it all internally.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel better about it and more confident.
There were many moments where I was amazed
Amen.
at what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Let's get some Coliseum DLC, baby. Let's go. I want the Coliseum
You'll
back.
get your Sephiroth fight.
Yeah, give me that.
You'll get it.
I want they could throw Final Fantasy characters in there if they want. Give me a tournament arc, Kyle.
Yes. Oh.
Tournament arc.
Wait,
Tournament arc.
One last thought though, because it was about Hubert's concern and tournament arcs at the same time. One thing I really like, Huber, is like Yu Yu Hakusho, everybody prepping the night before the big fight.
Yeah.
We had those scenes.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like Riku is just like chilling with the evil version of himself on the
Yeah, on the beach.
But it was like those moments. I love those. Just
Yeah.
like the prep before the fight, everybody getting ready. Tomorrow's the big day.
Yeah.
I love that kind of thing.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Riku and Replica Riku's interactions were pretty funny.
That's a whole separate video. I love going down that line.
Fighting the dark, using the darkness inside him. I love that stuff.
One
such
of
a sucker
my
for it.
greatest pleasures with this game coming out has been being able to talk to all of you about it,
Yeah.
because you're all on board now.
Yes.
Like Damian's been on board with me for a while. Ben, you've played him. Hubert, you've been catching up. Kyle, I'm not exactly sure all the games that you've played, but you're in, baby.
1, 2, and 3.
It's been a
Dream
blast
Drop.
talking to all you guys going through these games. I had a ton of fun talking about it today on this wonderful spoiler mode with y'all. Thank you so much for talking. Hope you all enjoyed it at home. Damiani, take us out with the Keyblade. Lock the door.
One last time.
Yeah.